Hello, WhatCulture, it's me, Simon Miller, and do we have a special edition of Raw Ups and Downs for you all? Well, of course we do, because it's the ups and downs for the 25th anniversary of Raw, and we're all excited about it. And now that it's done, a lot of people are really upset about it. Now, before we do get into all of this, look, I can only judge it by what I see on television. I wasn't at the Barclays Center, and I wasn't at the Manhattan Center. However, I do need to point out that yes, it certainly does seem if you plonked a lot of money down to go to the Manhattan Center, there were some problems in the sense that when a lot was going on in the Barclays Center, you were just sat there even doing nothing or watching some 205 Live, guys. I did some reading this morning, and it does sound like WWE may have screwed that up a bit, but I can't talk about that here apart from now in the intro, and that's why I've done it in the intro. And also, I actually thought the whole thing was quite entertaining, but as we get into it, I'm going to be critical where I believe I need to be critical based on your own opinions and what we kind of hoped was going to happen. But I just want to say here before we begin, I thought it was quite entertaining. Ups and downs. Somewhat hilariously, the biggest up and the best part of the whole night was the first thing we saw on the damn show, which kind of set the bar, and the bar went down, and not Sheamus and Cesaro, I mean the bar of quality. The quality started high and then kind of trickled down until the end. However, up. Aside from a cool intro from the Manhattan Center with the King and JR, we then transitioned back over to the Barclays Center. I'm going to be saying that a lot. And we had a bit with Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon. And they were like, oh, Raw's amazing, WWE's amazing, everything is amazing, we're amazing, you're amazing. Hey, look over there, it's a dog. The dog is amazing. And of course, then they said, let's bring out the most amazing thing of all of this, and who made all this possible, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He came out, he got a big cheer from the crowd, and straight away, I don't know about you, but I certainly did this, I went, oh yeah, Vince McMahon, the character on TV, or Mr. McMahon, is the greatest character of all time. He was brilliant here, he was hilarious. Halfway through his speech, he just turned on the crowd and he started healing it up, and he was just fantastic, which is why when Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hit, my word, it was euphoric. It was maybe even orgasmic. The crowd went nuts, I went nuts. Brilliant. It was almost like we'd gone back in time, and that's a problem in itself, because straight away you're like, yeah, this stuff's better than the stuff we get today. But that's neither here nor there, and you know what happened after this. Shane McMahon took a stunner, then Vince McMahon took a stunner, Shane McMahon took another stunner, Austin drunk loads of beers, and honestly, it's just fantastic. I don't care how you watch it, go on WWE's YouTube if you have to. Watch this segment, from the audience reaction, just the chemistry with everybody in the ring. Oh, it was wonderful. Best thing that's happened on Raw in 25 years. Also, credit where credit is due. At one point, Stephanie and Shane gave McMahon a plaque to try and celebrate his 25 years of running Raw. And McMahon was like, this is a rubbish plaque. And Stephanie's reactions to that were very funny. Usually, we rag on Stephanie McMahon, so let's not do that. 2 thumbs up, everything here. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 wrestling TV. And then we had an 8 women's tag team match. And we all know how much I love those. However, I'm gonna put a little spanner in the works here. Let's get up. Now, I do hate it when the WWE just throws a bunch of women in a match and go, there you go, there's your women's segment. However, in this 8-man tag team match, and I gotta remember who was in it now, it was Nia Jax, and Osaka was in there, and there was Bayley and Sasha Banks, and who else? Sugar, I can't remember. Absolution, and Paige was on the outside. Basically all 8 women on Raw. But after Sasha Banks had made Alicia Fox tap out to the Banks statement to win, the good guys, and that was Sasha Banks, and that was Bayley, and that was Mickie James, and that was Osaka, well, Osaka turned on all of them, and she threw them over the top rope to remind us that this Sunday at the Royal Rumble is every woman for herself. And I like that. It makes sense. Not only does the undefeated one now look like more of a badass than she already did, but it tied into what's going to happen on Sunday. So for once, we used a big schmoz of a tag match to tell the narrative. Yes! It's our first down though, because as I worried about before Raw 25 started, WWE just booked too many people on this show, so when you tried to work them in, it all kind of felt like a bit nothing, like they're entertaining, but ultimately you were like, oh, okay. Damn. But we had our usual backstage stuff with Kurt Angle telling everybody to watch out for Braun Strowman, and then Harvey Whippleman turned up, the Brooklyn Brawler turned up, Jonathan Coachman was there, and Brother Love stuck his neck in as well. And then we got, I am the boogeyman, and it's time to get you, whatever that thing is that he says, and he came in and everybody was scared. I mean, we've seen this before, and again, it made the backstage skits more entertaining than they would have been otherwise, but unfortunately, this was kind of par for the course with all the legends, and now here we stand on a Tuesday, and you're like, nothing changed. And that's how we get to our next down as well, because then we transferred back to the Manhattan Center, and The Undertaker came out, and we were all like, yes, what's gonna happen? Well, nothing happened, down. Now this was cool because it's always cool to see The Undertaker, especially where Raw was born. And again, I think we're to blame for this because we all got ourselves so worked up. What's Undertaker going to say? Is he going to announce a match? Is he going to be in an angle? Why is Simon wiggling his hips like this? And we got the answer to none of those questions. All we got was an Undertaker, like a traditional Undertaker promo where he talked about burying people and rest in peace. And even the commentators didn't tell us. Has he retired? Is he not retired? Is he going to be at Mania? He's not at Mania? Nobody knows. So really, it was just okay. And I thought everything with The Undertaker was going to be more than okay. I'm going to throw all the APA segments into a big rant here, because otherwise we're going to be here all night. But in many ways, this was the main issue with Raw is War from last night, and that's why it's getting it down. But using their classic APA office backstage while everyone played poker, this was just a catalyst to put familiar faces on television while also telling a really bizarre story where Heath Slater didn't know how to play poker, so he kept losing. So we saw the likes of Ted DiBiase, Jeff Hardy, MVP, and the Dudleys, and I'm sure there are other people that I've forgotten about now. But again, it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. It was just there. It was like if you're standing across the other side of the road and you see a man or a woman cross the other side of the road and you just watch them. When all is said and done, you're like, all right, what do I do with that? That analogy made no sense, but that is how little all this meant to me. Again, fun to see famous faces that you remember from your past. We could have probably done something. I did like what WWE did next though, because we took a bunch of famous general managers and we just threw them out on the stage so they could wave hello. But it isn't up. So we've got Daniel Bryan, we've got William Regal, we've got John Laurinaitis, and we've got Eric Bischoff. I mean, that was kind of nice. Again, I'm being a hypocrite here because they could have done something. I don't know, this one just worked for me. I'm a crazy guy. And then The Miz beat Roman Reigns for his Intercontinental Champion to become the new Intercontinental Champion. That's enough. The amount of boos Reigns received was hilarious, and my gosh, I don't care what you say. I don't care if he's meant to be a heel or meant to be a face. That guy's a superstar because his reaction negatively was almost as big as Austin's in the positive sense. And the two had a decent match that of course had a lot of interference from the Miz Taraj, and that's how the Miz eventually won. While Roman was being distracted by those guys, the Miz secretly pulled the turnbuckle pad off. He thrust Reigns' head into that exposed steel, gave him the, what's it called, skull-crushing finale. I actually forgot that then, and corrected myself mid-flow. What a hero I am, and here's your new Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Hopefully now we can put The Miz into a proper IC title program that feels really big and special, and make that belt feel important again, and Reigns can go on his WrestleMania journey to face Brock Lesnar. And then Christian hosted an episode of the Peep Show, and finally we were using a legend to progress current stories. That's what I wanted for my Raw 25 up. Did his usual shtick before introducing the tag champs, and that is Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. And Jason Jordan here got booed loads, so if you were trying to create a new Roman Reigns, you did it. They carried on the descent between the two, and eventually Sheamus and Cesaro came out to really ram that home like, look, we're best buds and you're not. That wound up Jason Jordan, so he attacked them and we had a big brawl. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well. At one point when Jason Jordan was holding Cesaro down so Rollins could hit him, Cesaro moved and can you believe it? Seth actually hit Jason Jordan instead. You know where this story is going, you know where it's going. This was a nice little segment, get up. Quick backstage segment with Alexa Bliss where she said, hey, I'm the Raw Women's Champion, I'm the best. To which Charlotte then turned up and said, haha, no you're not, I'm the SmackDown Women's Champion and I'm the best. And then Ric Flair turned up and said, I agree with my daughter. Because of course he's gonna say that. He's her dad. He's gonna come up there and go, actually, I agree with Alexa. But I am gonna give it an up because it was just nice to see Ric Flair back on TV after everything that he's been through to get back to here. Lovely stuff. That's why it's enough. But it is my saddest down of the evening because again, back to the Manhattan Center we went and we just had the match between Bray Wyatt and Mocha Matt Hardy with no advertising, no nothing, it was just there. Bray Wyatt won in 5 minutes clean. Down. Can someone please explain this to me? What, so that's it now? We don't see any potential in Matt Hardy, we're just gonna throw this to the wolves? It's madness. We could have done more with this. And also, JR and the King on commentary kept going, ooh, who's Sister Abigail? Maybe one day Bray Wyatt will let us know. He told us he dressed up in drag. Don't insult my intelligence. Also, both Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy feel completely lost now. No direction whatsoever. And a brief up because WWE then repeated what they did with the general manager stuff earlier, and they just did it with a bunch of legends who happened to be women. But that was kind of cool, and it was nice to see Michelle McCool, the Bellas, Lillian, Kelly, and Trish Stratus came out to a monster pop. And again, this was just a feel-good moment. I think we probably could have had more feel-good moments, but at least we had a feel-good moment here. And then we just cut to Chris Jericho, who was putting Elias on the list because he was wearing a scarf. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Chris Jericho's most recent WWE character. It was one of the highlights of last year, but this is not what WWE should have done, or at least I don't think so. Down. After what he did in New Japan, I think when he did eventually return, he should have been treated like a megastar. And I'm talking megastar, I'm talking someone like The Undertaker, not putting a silly skip backstage. And clearly Jericho didn't mind because he wouldn't have done it otherwise, so who am I to say anything? And he was wearing one of his Alpha t-shirts, the Jericho Alpha, I'm the Alpha Jericho. That's not what it is. But he was wearing one of those t-shirts, and I love that because Jericho doesn't give a damn. None of this made any sense to me. I don't like it. Elias then did go to the ring to sing a little song, and he got into it again with John Cena. It's gonna get enough. Nothing much happened here, but I did enjoy it, and when all was said and done, even though John Cena had tried to attack Elias got the better hand, and he slammed him in the back with his katana. Like this. Like that. Hands doing the motion. It makes no sense on one level because why on earth did we see this again after John Cena beat Elias clean a few weeks ago? But I think this is WWE just trying to do what they have to do because I think originally this segment was meant for Samoa Joe and he's injured. So I actually thought this was alright. Mark Henry then bumped into the Godfather backstage, and I'm going to give this an up mostly because this week Mark Henry had a go at me on Twitter, so this is me trying to make good with Mark Henry's getting up. Not a lot happened except for the fact that Henry accidentally hit on the Godfather's wife because he was being all sexual chocolate again, and we all remember that. And yeah, it was fine, it was fun, it was nostalgic. However, D'Lo Brown should have been here. D'Lo Brown should have been here. And it was at this stage that we got our payoff for all the APA poker stuff that had been going on the entire night, as we got the Titus brand versus Heath Slater and Rhino. It ended in a double DQ because both teams started to brawl and the ref couldn't calm them down. And the Dudley Boys came out and they wanted a fight, and for some reason, everybody, including his own partner Rhino, threw Heath Slater in the ring and he got his ass whipped. Down. I mean, I guess this was fun and all, and we saw the Legends do something, which is what I wanted. Why did you do that, Rhino? Why did you do that? No idea. What is a solid up is the fact that AJ Styles then cut a promo about his upcoming title match at the Royal Rumble, and who conducted it? Mean Gene Okerlund. And for me, as an old wrestling fan, that was Fabu. Solid up. It was back to the Manhattan Center after this as DX came out, and it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and then they brought out the New Age Outlaws, who then brought out X-Pac, who then brought out Scott Hall, and this was a nice 5-10 minute segment. I don't know how long it was, but it was just nice, old faces in the original building. I mean, how can you not like that? Up. And it got better too because then the Balor Club came out and DX basically passed the torch to them. They gave them the Too Sweet and they were like, man, you're the guys, you're the men, you're the bros, you're everything. That was great because maybe this means throughout 2018, Gallows, Anderson and Finn Balor are in for some big stuff. But then, what on earth? Not only did Gallows and Anderson beat the Revival in 2 minutes, but then the Revival got whooped by a bunch of retired dudes. Down. And I love the Balor Club and I do not mind them beating the Revival, but what I do mind is when Raw needs tag teams. Right now your tag team division is kind of getting exciting, it's kind of on fire, but you need more teams to sustain that, and we took the Revival, who are a really unique and special team, and we had a bunch of old guys beat them up. Why did we do this? We didn't need to do this. This didn't help anybody. I did like how the show ended though as we ramped up for the Universal title match at this Sunday's Royal Rumble. Kurt Angle came out with basically a bunch of security that were wrestlers from the past and the present to try and, stop these 3 big men from having a fight. That clearly failed, but everything here was a lot of fun and gets enough. Heyman introduced Brock and the 3 guys just started having a massive fight, and I think that Kane got clotheslined by Strowman, so Lesnar, he then clotheslined Strowman, I think, and then Kane got an F5, which allowed Strowman to get back to his feet, and he picked up Lesnar, and he just power slammed him through a table. And we know what this means. It means that Braun looks strong even though he's not going to win the Universal title on Sunday. Kane is going to take the fall, and Lesnar's going to retain even though he went through all of this shizzle. And that was Raw 25, and while there were some disappointments that we have touched on, it was still nice to have a show like this that felt different. We had faces that we recognised, and all the backstage skits, you were kind of like, well, what's going to happen? Because, you never know who's going to turn up. I think I just said that. Repeating myself, but who cares? Because Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon reminded us that nothing has been that good in almost 20 years. That's quite sad. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Raw. Like, share and subscribe. Come follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. And go to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles. My name is Simon from WhatCulture, and join me tomorrow as we look into SmackDown, which is the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. Is Daniel Bryan going to be in the Royal Rumble? No, but we will see. So, thanks for watching. Please feel free to click on any of these things around my head, or something terrible might happen to the dog. Too sweet me, bro. Traitor. Traitor.